What is XML authoring? Well, in this video, we're going to dive into that and more. And hey there, my name is Josh, and I have over 10 years of experience in technical writing. I'm also the founder of Technical Writer HQ. And before we dive into the video, take a moment to subscribe to our channel. And that way, you won't miss any of our future videos to help you become a better technical writer and work with documentation. Now, let's go ahead and get started. So XML authoring refers to using XML for authoring technical documentation, including books and other types of technical publications and documents. XML authoring differs from today's dominant authoring paradigm per se, which is desktop publishing. By switching to structured authoring with XML, you can increase productivity and realize significant savings on your documentation projects, which is why it's considered the standard across many industries. And XML is an acronym for Extensible Markup Language, and it's a text-centric markup language derived from Standard Generalized Markup Language, or SGML. And XML is used to store structured data rather than to format or display information on a page. And you can use XML to represent structured information for documents, books, data, manuscripts, and more. And XML is an important development because, well, it overcomes the inflexibility of and dependence on HTML, a single document type, which is used for tasks that it simply wasn't designed for. And it overcomes the complexity of SGML, whose syntax allows several powerful but hard to program options. And XML allows the flexible development of user-defined document types. It also provides a robust, non-proprietary, persistent, and verifiable file format for storing and transmitting text and data on and off the web. And XML removes more complex options of SGML, making it easier to program. Now here's an example of XML authoring inside one of the most popular XML tools, Oxygen XML Editor. Take a moment to view the markup language in brackets next to the documentation words. And you can go ahead and pause the video here to get a better idea. Now, XML offers the following benefits for technical communicators, some of which we went over. XML is available as an open standard. It is an extensible markup and enables programmers to create custom tags for their applications and describe the tags in their permitted use cases. And XML does not participate in displaying data. It carries the data. Essentially, it allows users to store data independently of how it's presented. And XML markup is verbose. For example, authors must supply every end tag, which enables computer programs to catch common errors such as incorrect nesting. And the readability of XML and the presence of element and attribute names in XML means that authors looking at an XML document often find it easy to understand the format, making mistakes easy to find. An authoring paradigm presents technical writers with a particular view of the document model. And there are two types of authoring paradigms here. So we have unstructured authoring and structured authoring. Now let's go ahead and look at these two paradigms in more detail. So writers use unstructured authoring to create content and documentation according to rules and approved styles described in style guides. And a style guide contains a documented approach on how the writing team or how the entire company is supposed to author content, including things like voice and tone, preferred writing style, number of heading levels, handling of images and documents, and punctuation, grammar, and spelling requirements. And editors double-check adherence to the approved style guide. This manual process of ensuring style guide adherence is time-consuming. Authors use desktop publishing tools for the unstructured authoring of documents. And these tools, such as Microsoft Word, allow authoring and publishing from the same system. And the tools integrate content and format, and the tool's graphical interface is almost always what you see, what you get. So it's a WYSIWYG. And desktop publishing tools give writers control over content presentation and delivery. Structured authoring is a publishing paradigm that defines and enforces consistent information organization, and structured authoring incorporates systematic labeling, and systematic and consistent labeling allows each identification of semantic elements by the readers. And a semantic element is an element of code that uses words to represent what the element contains in language that is easy for humans to understand. And we have modular topic-based architecture. Content is authored in topics, and each topic must make sense in its own right. A topic is authored as a unit, not as part of a larger document. And topic-based authoring enables large-scale content reuse. And writers can assemble topics from a single pool or repository into different deliverable documents. You can use topics in different documents as long as they make sense when read in different contexts. And topic-based writing makes translation and localization more efficient because a topic needs translation only once. And constrained writing environments is another one here. Constrained aim to simplify the authoring process by reducing the complexity of information type. And then separation of content and form. Structured authoring separates content from presentation delivery. Formatting and presentation are post-authoring considerations. And structured authoring is a concept or paradigm. XML is a technology that you can use to implement structured authoring. And for XML, a document structure, legal elements, and attributes are defined in a document type definition, or DTD. And today the terms structured authoring and XML are often used interchangeably. XML authoring offers multiple benefits for technical writers and communicators, such as content reuse. The main benefit of using XML is content reuse. You save time and effort when information handling is reduced. And documentation departments can realize time and cost savings if authoring, editing, and updating are done once for many documents. And every time you do not have to touch a document to update, time is saved, which converts to savings for the company. And during the documentation design phase, documentation teams can determine the content that can be reused. So for example, they can determine whether the same product description can be used for marketing brochures and engineering manuals, or whether a certain installation procedure can be used for both the production and service manuals. And one of the additional benefits of content reuse is consistency within the company message. Especially for regulated industries, this consistency makes the audit trail smoother. And next we have quick updates. Every time technical writers need to update content, well, they only have to update the relevant content, and all documents that use the content will get updated. This is far more efficient compared to unstructured authoring, where each individual document requires separate updating. And then we have fast edits. Similar to updating, editing for documents created with structured editing technologies such as XML is much more efficient than documents created with unstructured authoring tools. And one of the big ones here is translation or localization. Structured authoring with XML provides significant cost savings for translation and localization services. This is because all content reused for multiple manuals and documents is only translated once. And content is not only common to documentation for a single product, but it's often common for similar products and different product models from the same product line. And the translation savings are directly proportional to the amount of content common among different documents. And the translation savings are also directly proportional to the number of languages that the documentation is translated into. And we have easier search. Finding a specific piece of content in a document, for example, text, table, graphic, and more, is harder to find. Tagging in XML gives context to content and makes it much easier for users to get to. And then we have universal format. If you acquire another company, and as long as their content and your content both use an XML format, well, you can integrate their documentation into your own, with your own branding and formatting. And this is an example of how XML allows easier exchange and reuse of content. And next we have predictability. The predictable format allows for easier authoring and comprehension. Even though the desktop publishing paradigm based on unstructured authoring is popular, it has many disadvantages. So for example, when employees are asked to create materials for a presentation, each piece of the created content originates and resides in a different place throughout the organization. And over time, a lot of duplicate content is created, and a lot of content becomes obsolete. Content that is scattered throughout the organization is difficult to find and difficult to maintain. Moreover, HR departments must create and maintain training material for the different desktop publishing platforms that employees prefer. And this time-consuming, inefficient, and error-prone approach to content management is frustrating for individual employees and costly for organizations. And for these reasons, organizations find that structured authoring with XML is a much more efficient and reliable way to generate, maintain, and publish content. The shift to structured authoring with XML involves costs such as XML editor software, training, expertise, whether it's in-house or outsourced, and process implementation. For the long term, however, the shift to XML provides multiple benefits such as ease and reduced costs of document maintenance and new document creation. The benefits increase further when you factor translation into the equation. And according to Ditto Writer, more than 770 companies are already using Ditto in 2022, which is a popular XML-based authoring model. And if you're new to XML, you can use XML authoring tools to jumpstart your XML journey. And an XML authoring tool is a text editor that you can use with a markup language, such as XML, to tag content based on predefined structure or set of rules laid down in a DTD. And XML tools offer several benefits, including advanced editing tools, WYSIWYG editing, macro search, and online help. And some of the popular XML tools are Oxygen, XML Editor, Adobe FrameMaker, Notepad++, and XML Notepad. And before we wrap up this video, just one quick last question here that you may be wondering: what is the difference between SGML, XML, and HTML? SGML has been used for describing different document types, from transcripts of ancient manuscripts to technical documentation, patients' medical records, and even musical notation. And SGML is large, complex, and overkill for most common Office desktop applications, while XML is really an abbreviated version of SGML, as mentioned at the beginning of this video, and it makes it easier to use over the web, easier to define your own document types, and easier for programmers to write programs to handle them. And HTML, XHTML, and HTML5 are SGML applications most frequently used on the web. And I hope that gives you a great idea of these different types of applications and what they're used for. And there you have it, everything from XML and its benefits, authoring paradigms, the link between XML and structured authoring, the benefits of structured authoring with XML, making the shift to structured authoring with XML and XML authoring tools, and so much more. So thank you for sticking with us all the way through this video lesson here of really explaining what XML authoring is. And if you enjoy this video and you feel like you have a better understanding of the topic, make sure to go ahead and like the video, subscribe to our channel, and that way you can keep up with all of our videos and lessons on how to create great technical documentation. And I'll go ahead and see you in those following videos. Cheers.